Sometimes I wake up and I'm totally paralyzed. Sometimes I wake up and I'm partially paralyzed. Sometimes I wake up and I'm only paralyzed in that part of me that should reach out and interact. But I'm paralyzed and I have fear. It is gripping my heart. And through time, I've learned to calmly walk away from it. Calmly, simply walk away. It will be okay. And then I am free from the fear that was gripping my heart. I am free. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? What'd you forget? Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Why'd you forget? Why'd you forget? Why'd you forget? to view my videos. Today I'm going to continue with Once Upon a Time. We left off when I was done with school. So yeah, I used to get jumped a lot on the way to school and after school, and started getting into a lot of trouble, not trying to, but I was getting older and a lot of weirdos were around. So during the summertime is usually when all the troubles started, because kids, they run around and do stuff. And we did a lot of hitchhiking, me and my friend Chris and Merrick, and we met a lot of people, and I sometimes just went by myself, or I started hanging out with these people, and they were kind of bad people. They were burglarizing people, and I didn't know. So I was getting mixed up with different bad crowds and stuff, and I was at this house, and all of a sudden these girls pulled up in this big pickup truck, and they had all this stuff in it, and they were saying, "Get whatever you want, just take whatever you want." And I'm like, "Cool, I didn't know. I just thought they're giving stuff away." And I was like, "Okay." So I took, clothes basically, and like within that week, all of a sudden I told other people about it and stuff, and all of a sudden I get a knocking at my door, and that's the police, and they had a search warrant to search our house. This was when I first found out that these girls were burglars. I was arrested, but they didn't take me. Maybe because I was really young. I don't know. So on the court day, they had paid friends of mine, people I knew, to testify against me, to say that I did all this, right? I mean, you got to remember, they were talking about a kid, never drove a car. I saw in the newspaper, it was like a big deal because they were burglaring like a lot of places, a lot of houses, and it ended up in a newspaper. People were talking about it because a lot of people were getting burglared. When they finally took it to court, uh, the girls that they paid couldn't, because they said that they had to, testify in front of me, and they couldn't do it because they were lying. Those girls ended up going to juvenile hall, and they dropped all the charges on me. Those girls started hating me, but for something I didn't even do. I didn't, one, burglary the place. Two, I wasn't involved with them at all. I didn't even know them. They just pulled up and said, "Hey, take whatever you want, everybody." And I was like, "Oh, cool." One day went over to some friend's house. I thought friends, I thought. And I went over there, and all of a sudden those girls were there. It was like they were setting me up. So I kind of saw it coming, and I went to the bathroom really quick, and I snuck out into their the back room, bedroom, whatever. There was a phone there, and I grabbed it and I called my brother and told him to come and get me. And the girl was sitting there with these scissors and just kind of going like this with them, like just like a movie. Like this big old threatening bully. But no, that's scary stuff because things happen. Things happen, and these girls do things. So I just I don't know. My brother came and got me. He just walked in there and came and got me out of the bathroom, and we went home. And from that point on, I stopped talking to people and being friends with people because my friends were really, I don't even know what the word is, but they would turn on me and get me in trouble. It's okay because I had other plans. I didn't want to do whatever they were going to do. I ended up doing nothing for a long time, and I don't know if I said before, but when I was in 6th grade, a teacher of mine, my English teacher, is the only one I really remember and like. Besides the choir teachers, I remember them. My English teacher, she was great, she was kind, and she had some kind of rapport with me. I remember one day she came to school and she showed everybody how to do a shag haircut. And we thought that was so cool, and I went home and I started giving my friends shag haircuts and feathered bangs, like the 70s haircuts. And that's what I used to do all the time because it's fun, I do all my friends' hair and stuff. And then by the time it's come around to school time again, I asked my parents if they can let me go to hairdressing school because I wanted to do that. they took me down there because they didn't want me to not just do anything. I quit school, you know, and they would rather have me do something. So I found the school I wanted to go to, and we went over there. I was barely 17, and they weren't going to allow me to enroll until I was 18. I got really upset. He ended up going, well, we can actually let her enroll because she's not going to be 17 by the time she graduates. She'll be 18. I got my cosmetology license right after I turned 18. And so I started going to school. And, you know, some of my favorite things to do as a teenager was I think I mentioned I used to read detective magazines all the time and stuff. I was way into newspapers, you know, the crime in the newspapers and stuff, and I was really into the detective magazines. And I was always into like more darker music. I started getting more into at this point like Kiss and all the progressive rock. Oh my gosh, I love progressive rock. Before this event that just happened, you know, of me like cutting off everybody, I would I was going to like concerts and stuff and seeing bands like I got to see Queen, Alice Cooper like 3 times, 4 times, well 3 times in Las Vegas. Black Sabbath, some really cool bands. Yeah, that was how we had fun. We go to just concerts or like shows that were you know, out there in the desert and stuff. They'd have parties. So that's something we do a lot of. And then I would just also watch because this boy in those days, that's I think a lot of things are happening in music from the 50s to the 70s. There was just like some really exciting, different, new. Cool was cool. Cool was cool, and I think now Poser is really in. Like that, things are more about people pose a lot, right? Get it? And then it was just cool was cool, and there was really unique things going on. Beginnings of things like this is the first time this, you know. Within that span, we had records, cassettes, 8 tracks. Um, did the 70s have CDs? Okay, so they didn't. I don't know. I think there's yeah, VHS and Beta, and so yeah, that's a lot of changing, and through that we lost all that, and magazines. Like people don't really buy magazines, but I think print stuff is really cool. Like I'm actually thinking of doing a little 5 by 10 little news thing. I don't know, just for fun. I might not, but I used to do it for Shadow Project a long time ago in the beginning. And if anybody has any copies of those, I think there was like 5 or 6 of them. I would love to have a copy because, dude, I don't know what happened to any of that stuff. It's gone, but it was there at one time. I remember me and Roz used to go and get it all printed up. That was our fun date. It was real fun. We'd go and print out the magazines, just like me and him would put things together like artwork and poems and things about Shadow Project, and I don't know, it was cool. At this point is a big turning point, and I really, really wanted to go to New York. I just wanted to go to New York. That wasn't feasible for me. It was too expensive, and by chance, PSA Airlines had a major plane crash and landed in a neighborhood in San Diego, which to me I thought that was LA because I didn't know really what it looks like. Anyways, I just thought San Diego, California, Los Angeles, it's all there. What happened was their tickets became $28 round trip. So there was my cue to get out of Dodge and go over there. I wasn't really happy in Las Vegas. It was like a waiting room, and a lot of weird things were happening to me. I had had a lot of spiritual weird things that are happening to me. Things I just couldn't deal with. I was seeing things differently, and I was going through big changes, and I guess it was that time. It was time for me to be an adult and leave. And so that's what I did. Okay, I got my license, got a job. My first hair salon I worked at, I did really well, and they put me up in the front. Good seat down because you're going to feed you first. From that check, I just moved. I went to Los Angeles for a little while. I mean, I always thought it was for good, but then eventually I'd go, okay, I got to go back because I didn't plan. I was really like, jump the gun type of person. Like, oh, I'm going to go to LA. Bye. I think I'm going to move there. Oh, yeah. You mean you have to have a place to? Oh, you have to sleep somewhere. Oh, I didn't think of that. Money? What? You mean you need money to live? I fly out to Los Angeles. I didn't know anybody. The only person I knew, music articles that said things about Hollywood, like the Whiskey A Go Go. So I go, okay, I have to go to that place. I had to check out Hollywood. Got off the cab and I was like, this place is crazy. The LAX was so crazy. And I had to ask them how to get out of there, and they showed me how to get out. And then I just stood there waiting for a cab, and no cab would stop. I didn't understand why I was standing there and they wouldn't stop. And this lady held one for me. I've never done that before. So, like in Las Vegas, they will pull up and ask you to need a cab. So I would have been there all night. No, I just thought they were rude. I thought, why don't they want business? They don't take me to Hollywood. So LA to Hollywood is a pretty long distance for a cab. That costs money. And of course, money? Really? You mean I can't get in it and just get a ride over there?